Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Team Espana Show. As always, I am Hobo Sexy, a.k.a. the Buffet Prince, a.k.a. the Guru of Gynophilia. And tonight, one night only, a.k.a. Papa Sharts. You know why? Shit happens. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, the illustrious Thesis.
Yo, it's your boy, Jose, a.k.a. Papa Change, because you know I got them quarters, dimes, and nickels.
Hey.
Quarters, dimes, and nickels.
Hey.
A.k.a. Jose Bank, because I'm big bucks, no whammies, no whammies, no whammies. And as you noticed, most times we'd have a guest, but today we are rocking just your boys, Jose and Jose B, for now at least. Because later on this episode, we got something real special for you. We got our boy Bear Boulder coming through the building, well, through the Zoom chat. And we're going to have a great time.
That's right, baby. We go way back with this cat, and we're going to bring him out in a couple minutos in a couple minutes, baby. Basically, if you are a new fan of the show or you're a new subscriber, we wrapped up last week the Mass Madness tournament. And what a controversial finish. Just know what the judge says goes. The winner of the Mass Madness tournament, the Revolting Blob.
Bro, who would have thought that?
He wasn't even entered.
Like that I just want everybody at home to know, like, that was something that was completely unplanned. Like, we didn't think about, like, honestly, like a little like behind the scenes stuff. We talked about like possibly asking Uncle Shu something about the Revolting Blob, but you know, you don't just ask the illustrious Uncle Shu something like that. So we didn't bring anything up about it. But that man, whew.
That's why he's our Uncle Shoes, man, because he knows it. He knows what makes quality entertainment. You love your boys, Jose and Jose B. You love Team Espana. You love the Team Espana Show. Definitely give his podcast a listen. Card Jomez. Go to his YouTube page. Listen to the show last week. Drop some knowledge. It's our most watched episode ever. Don't be left out. Don't be one of those people that's like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Look it up. It's in our history. Episode number 9, I believe it was.
So open your third eye, and yes, you are right, sir. It is the 9th episode, which makes this our 10th episode. So congrats, bro. We did this for 10 straight weeks.
My goodness, Mike. I think this is the most thing, I think outside of wrestling, haberdasheries, and alcoholism, this is the most consistent thing I think we've done during this quarantine.
Yeah, this is definitely something we've been doing pretty consistent, and it's been fun, honestly. Like, it's been a good time to just go back and see a lot of our friends, because we haven't seen them in a couple months, and I miss them.
Yeah, and my favorite thing is like when the cameras stop rolling and we kind of get to chat and just kind of catch up, stuff that, you know, behind the scenes stuff for the Team Espana Show. Maybe, who knows? Maybe once we get to the 100th episode, we'll release a blooper reel or they're going to cancel us reel. But nah, man, it's definitely been fun. Notice, since we've started, I was growing out my mutton chops during the quarantine. I have since shaven.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that look, bro.
Well, it's, you know, the good thing about facial hair is give it some time and, you know, it'll grow back and I'll have a big bushy beard that my wife misses. But I was bullied into shaving. One of my in-laws, you know, who remain nameless, kind of mean girled her way into me shaving my beard. You know, she said some
How, bro?
passive aggressive things.
How?
You know, I don't want to go into it, but you know, if you watch, I've never watched the Mean Girls, but
I've seen Mean Girls.
After that comment, I felt like I watched it because I was
Mean
like,
Girls,
oh, this is not where I'm allowed to sit.
Mean Girls was a movie that I've seen, like, when I was younger. That was a movie that was on frequently. Just, if you know, you know. That movie was woof.
I mean, I've never seen it, but like I said, I was definitely passively aggressively forced to shave. I was victimized into shaving. No, I'm not a victim. She said something, I took it a certain way, and so I shaved. And I know they watched the show, or at least her husband does, and her beautiful baby boy. So, mwah to my in-laws, all of them.
Shout outs.
I know. Listen. I know I'm not the shout out guy.
Oh, no, I got you, sir. Shout out to the in-laws. Y'all know what's up. How y'all doing? We hope that everybody's being well and safe during this quarantine, because right now we're in a really crazy time, and that's something that we kind of wanted to get into anyway. Hoseby, you want to touch on this week's been kind of crazy?
Yes. I before I became a wrestler, I actually went to college and got a degree in history. My mom, that was one of her mandates. Like, you can do whatever you want. Just go to college, get yourself a degree, have something to fall back on just in case your dreams don't work out. So I said, cool, deal.
Same.
And she's been very supportive of my wrestling career. With that said, what's going on right now with Black Lives Matter and the George Floyd protests, I think are something that happens when people ignore history. You had the race riots in the 60s and 70s, and, it's very akin to that. Our so-called, president, my favorite quote is, we have a dumbass president who's quoting people who believed in segregation, right? That's what segregates believe. When the looting starts, the shooting starts. And honestly, I think it's bullshit. I think this is what happens when we don't have leadership. You know what I mean? And this is what happens when people are unheard. Martin Luther King said, riots are the language spoken by people who are not heard. And, I don't want to speak for you. I speak for myself. But I lend my support to what's going on. I lend my support to these protests. I'm not a fan of violence unless it's, for entertainment purposes. But these protests aren't to entertain anybody, man. These protests are really to kind of get the national attention on a group of people who have been unheard, who have been mistreated. And I am all for their support. I'm all for changing the system. I'm all for protests. This country that we live in, this great country, was built on protesting. Was built on bucking the system and saying, hey, we're not being treated fairly, and we need to be. And with that said, if you're going to protest, do so safely, do so non-violently. At the same time, allegedly, if you're going to do something crazy, do it to a big corporation, man.
I agree,
bro. They're the ones
bro.
holding us down. Don't go to the mom and pop shop. Don't loot. A Muhammad's. Don't loot a Joe's. Don't loot small business. Small business helped build this country as well as the working man. If you're gonna loot a Target, loot a Walmart, do crazy stuff. Allegedly. Okay.
I agree with you wholeheartedly with everything that you were saying. Because you were saying you don't speak for me, but like, again, like you put it beautifully. Like, this is a wild time, and it's like, if people aren't listening, then we have to do what we can to be heard. Like, we've tried doing the whole protesting thing the right way, and yeah, it might be a little more aggressive now, but like, look, you can see a difference is slowly being made. Like, the eyes are being opened up. They're being protests in like other cities and other countries. Like, it's bigger than everybody's thinking about, and like, stuff like that just makes you worry about the people you like know and love. Like, shout out to one of my best friends. Like, I thought about, and I even texted them immediately, like, yo, like all jokes aside, like, yeah, my family, like, no matter what. And it was like, I hit him out the blue. I didn't tell him why or anything, but it was like, I just want them to know, like, yo, I'm here for them. Like, yeah, I got my support and everything. Cause like, there's differences that we might not see that like they go through and everything. And I want them to know, like, they have nothing but like Black Lives Matter, bro. Nothing but respect.
Yeah,
like,
man.
we here for them.
And I don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, man, because that's beautiful. And I hear the response from people when they say, "Oh, all lives matter." 100% right? Black, brown, white, yellow, blue, gray, whatever, man. If you're a human being, you are a human being. And if love is in your heart, then I support you and I'm with you, and I want love to be felt by everybody. You know what I mean? But if your house is on fire and the fire department comes to put it out, that's the equivalent of saying, wait a minute, all houses matter, right? Just because your house is on fire, my house is on fire, all the houses should get watered down. Yeah, that example makes no sense, which is why when people respond to me, all lives matter, you don't get it. You know what I mean? Your house is not on fire. Support the houses that are in distress. And right now, Black Lives Matter. Right now, people are being oppressed. And it's 2020, man. You read these stories about the civil rights movement and segregation and lynching, and you think ignorantly that that's in the past. it never stopped, man. The only difference between now and then is we got cell phone cameras. You know what I mean? It's not that there's more violence. It's
We're
being
seeing
recorded.
it. Yeah.
Exactly, man.
It's on a broader scale now. It's bigger than ever.
And whoo, that was serious. And if you're watching this and you disagree, leave a comment. You know, and if you leave anything hateful, don't watch, bro. You got as an American, as a human being on this earth, you got the power to hit the X button and click out.
We don't want you. Get out of here.
That's it. You know. But if you are, stick with it. We promise to be entertaining. And provide some funny stuff. Again, we're gonna have Bear Boulder on in a couple minutes when he's ready. And to transition out of this,
I got this.
how are we gonna transition out of this serious subject?
1-800-555-JOSE. That's 1-800-555-JOSA. Olivia, call me. I'm still waiting for a response. I've been watching Law & Order SVU all 17 seasons this weekend because honestly, when I get days off, I really don't be knowing what to do with myself, good sir. What do you be doing?
Honestly, like it's weird, right? So like we're professional wrestlers, we're sports entertainers, and like I love watching wrestling, and I think we've gone on a bunch of different podcasts where we say, hey, no, we still watch. It's cool to say you don't watch the new product or whatever. We still watch the new product. But lately, where there's no fans in the audience, you lose that energy. Even, you know, WWE, AEW, NWA Power, Impact, like all these, you know, nationally televised wrestling shows, it's hard to watch. So I kind of turned myself into, honestly, I've been reading a lot of books. I've been reading JR's autobiography or the sequel to his autobiography.
Yeah.
Listen to a lot of podcasts. I know one guy who is a controversial SOB, and if there's one thing we love on this show is controversy, Jim Cornette.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been watching. I don't have the attention span anymore to watch things in full entirety. So I can't watch things for like hours or 2 hours for some reason. But the YouTube clips that Jim Cornette puts up, I've been watching a lot of. I'll be honest with you, and I find myself watching a lot more of like the shoot interviews and a lot of those stuff more than actual wrestling, because I agree, like there's a certain element of the fans not being there that kind of makes wrestling with like nobody there a little awkward.
Mm-hmm. It's just two guys in underwear touching each other, and it's kind of makes me feel a certain way. No, there was actually one. I was watching like a shoot interview with like Shawn Michaels from like 2000, like maybe like 2000, 2001, around that time. So like, and it was so different to everything he's done since then, where he's talking about him and his feud with Bret Hart and just being like him calling Bret out backstage, be like, nah, man, you've been in this business 18 years. There's no way you could accidentally bury me on camera and then forget your cue. He's like, nah, man, it was an accident. What are you going to do about it? And Shawn Michaels is just like, I don't know, but I'm sure you'll find out. And then like a week later, he hit him with the Sunny Days call. I was like, bro, that's a bad, like, imagine being in any situation where you're like, yo, what are you going to do about it? I don't know, bro, but I'm sure you'll find out. Yo, that's badass, man.
That's a pretty badass response. Like at that point, if you're the other person, you're like, yo, what do I do? That is pretty badass. What I've been watching not for some reason, it was pretty entertaining actually. I was watching a Vlad TV interview with Mark Henry, and one of the things that shocked me, like he said in the 4th grade he was 225 pounds.
Isn't everybody?
That's probably the heaviest I've been in my life.
No, that's for a 4th grader, man. That's unhealthy.
I think he said his son's in like 8th grade and he's like 6'2", 6'3", something like that. Yeah. I'm just like, bro, with those genetics, I would take over the world.
The grass is always greener, because I bet you money, like at a certain point in his life or his children's lives, or even his children's children, I don't know, I can't speak for the man, but he probably will look at someone that's your size, that's your weight, and go, man, if I was your size and your weight, I'd be doing all the cool shit, you know, I'd be doing all the flips and dives and blah, 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 you know? So the grass is always greener on the other side.
Nah, the only way I could think about that is on the level, like, I feel like if you're a person that's about that size, maybe it's a little harder for you to wipe your butt. So since I'm a smaller guy, maybe I have like a little bit of advantage like that. Maybe my culo's a little bit cleaner or something. Maybe
Wait,
that's
wait,
something I can go home and be like, yo.
oh, did you just say your culo is cleaner than Mark Henry's? You heard it here first, folks.
I mean, I'm not. I don't know. It's just I need something over like somebody who's that strong. Like, look at a Braun Strowman. Like, that's a big dude. Like, I'm sure he can't get as deep as me. You know, that's all I'm saying.
So you think a dude that big is conscious of where he poops?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like, we done the drives. We've driven straight across many state lines and many thousands of miles, and we didn't even own a car. But we had that luxury of like, oh, we're getting gas. Cool, I'm gonna go inside real quick and take a shit, or a poop, or a dookie, whatever floats your boat, as long as you flush it at the end.
Courtesy flush too. Don't be
A jerk. Right?
Don't be a jerk.
People don't know about the courtesy flush, and I be telling them, and they think I'm weird. I'm like, nah, man, you gotta flush twice. You know.
Exactly.
But anyway, like guys like you and me and the normal average size human being, we could, for the most part, like we're just worried about like does it look clean? Like is there shit on the toilet seat? Is there piss on the toilet seat? We ain't got to worry about actual like bending down and then bending over and then spreading some cheeks and wipe it. Like we don't got to worry about that. You know what I mean? But a guy like Braun Strowman, Mark Henry, you know what? When he's on here, I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna ask Bear Boulder.
That's actually genius. Yeah, because he's actually Boulder's a big dude.
It's big. Him and his partner, Braun. The Bears.
Bear Country, yeah.
Do Bear Country wipe properly? That's the question America wants to know.
People want to know, how's your wiping?
How's your wiping, y'all? We're gonna after this, go to the Team Espana Twitter, play Team Espana, answer that poll. How's your wiping?
Hashtag how's your wiping?
That's it. That's probably gonna be the name of this episode.
How's your wiping?
How's your wiping? Well, with that said, I think we're gonna take a short break. Cause I don't know wiping your ass. Where do you go from there?
I mean, we got to get to the man and get.
We got to ask him the question.
Exactly.
So we're gonna take a short break, and when we come back, we are gonna ask the bear, "How's your wiping?" We'll be right back. We'll be right back, folks.
With these commercials we never recorded.
But we're going to one day. You just wait and see. And we are back, folks. I hope you enjoyed those commercials that we have never filmed, probably won't ever film, but we promise to film one day. And we are back with one half of the hottest acts on the independent wrestling scene today. He is the talented, he's the bodacious, he's the beefcake, Bear Boulder. My friend, how are you, sir?
Mi amigos, mi hermanos, donde está la biblioteca, Team Espana? Thanks for having me on, guys.
My brother, I love
The
you.
biblioteca is fire, as usual, sir. Nothing but books and information for days.
I wouldn't expect anything different.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, I don't have a library card anymore, but...
Do you not watch Arthur? Having fun isn't hard when you got a library card. What's wrong with you?
That takes me back to mornings before school.
The good old days. The good old days. So what's going
word.
on, fam? What have you been doing during this quarantine?
Not much, man. I've been dieting. I've been doing a lot of resistance band workouts, and I've been playing a lot of PlayStation 4. So
What have you been
trifecta.
playing on PS4?
The Show 20 and NHL 20 and 2020 and
Do you get to pick your answers in the interviews? Is that how that one works?
No, but I've also been playing this really fire game called Castle Crashers with friend of the show, referee Gina.
Yo, shout out to Ref Gina.
Shout out to Ref Gina. I love anyone who gets Simpsons references and gives Simpsons references. So she's
That's
dope.
right.
Right.
Dude, Javi, it is so weird seeing you without any facial hair.
Yeah, we explained
It is so
earlier.
weird.
I was bullied into this. I was bullied into this, but yeah, it's.
Oh,
I feel
God.
like I feel like I'm 22 and don't know what I'm doing with my life.
Let me just say, you look like a completely different person with no facial hair. Completely different person.
I didn't tell my wife I was shaving. And I didn't mention this earlier. I didn't tell my wife I was shaving. So I take a shower, washing my hair. I go, you know what? I'm going to shave. You know, Mean Girls. She got to me. I'm going to shave. So I shave, right? I trim it all. It's, you know, it's growing back now. And I come out the bathroom and the smoke clears. And my wife turns to me and goes, oh my God, bro, you look white.
So you have a mix-up pancake batter, and then like you spray a little Pam on the pan, and then you spray the pancake, you pour the pancake on the batter, and it's uncooked. It kind of looks like that, or it looks like if your face was on like a window, just like smush. Like with facial hair, you just look kind of odd. Like I don't know.
And ladies and gentlemen watching the Team Espana show, if you've ever wondered what it's like to ride with Team Espana and friends, this is a good 3/4 of the ride. It's just making fun of Hose B.
Oh, of course.
But anyway, Beef, we asked the viewers, or I shouldn't say we asked, we told the viewers we were going to, oh, thank you, honey.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Let me take over because this is something we were talking about earlier.
I'm gonna take a bite.
Go ahead.
What do you
mean?
eating,
Let us know how it is, matter of fact.
No, man, a white woman made this. This is healthy. It's chicken and pasta.
Hey, fancy boy. That's beautiful.
Fire.
All right. So, Beef, we were talking earlier, and we wanted to know, somebody your size, like you have the size advantage in a lot of things, except for this one thing. I think we got you beaten, us smaller folk, right?
Okay.
And that's wiping your ass. Cleaning your culo, if you will.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Because as a bigger dude, my theory is that like you have issues bending over a little bit and getting a little deeper. Now I wanted to know, you're like what, 6'8", 6'9", something like that. I mean, can you shed some light on the bigger perspective on cleaning your booty?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I can't really shed too much perspective on the subject because I have no problems in that field. I'm tall, yeah, but I have really long arms, I guess, so that really doesn't hinder me from any ass cleanings.
Okay.
Like if I was like super wide, I guess I picture being wide would give you more of a problem than being tall.
Okay,
does that make sense?
Yeah, because it came about because I was talking about an interview I saw with like Mark Henry, and he was talking about in 4th grade, he was 225 pounds. And you see him, he's like a wide dude. So I'm like, yeah, you got all that strength, but I bet you I'll wipe you, you know?
I mean, I'm sure you've been out in public and seen people that are that wide, and that thought comes to your head like, yo, how do they like, I'm sure across your mind.
Yeah.
So my man Boulder, a.k.a. Beef, a.k.a. Bear Boulder, a.k.a. Terry Boulder.
Boulder.
I wish.
My man. Can we talk about, once upon a time, there was a plan for a group of us to have a big old tag team match, right? I believe it would be an 8-man tag, maybe. 8 or 10-man tag, something like that.
Okay.
And what we wanted to do was we wanted to recreate as best as we could.
I know where you're going with this.
Games 95. So how did that come about? Who are you gonna be? And we'll kind of mention like all the other players along with this.
Well, I think it would come to no surprise, no shock that I was gonna be Hogan of the Good Guy team.
Brother.
Now, Fall Brawl War Games 95 has one of my favorite promos in wrestling history, where you have Hogan, Savage, Luger, Sting, and Jimmy Hart all in not red. They have a big American flag, and they're all in camo and camo face paint. And
that was the best part, is face paint.
And they're ready to go to war in the War Games match with the Dungeon of Doom. And it's insane. If anyone sees this and has never seen that promo before, Fall Brawl 95, the promo just before the main event match, please go watch it. It's one of my all-time favorites. It's so wrestling that I love it.
And correct me if I'm wrong, there's a spot in that match. So you got your baby faces, and then you got the Dungeon of Doom, I believe it was, right? It was Ming, Shark, Zodiac.
Yes, and one more.
I can't remember the last guy. Who's the last guy, Beef?
Kamala.
Yes. I just remember the match, is good. It's 1995 good. Take that for what it is. I just know Shark went to do like a splash from one ring to the other, and he didn't make it.
Oh my God.
So he's like in between the two. Oh, it's so good, man. It's so good. It's quality. You guys are stuck in quarantine. Watch War Games 95. It's on the network.
My favorite spot of that match is when Hogan finally gets in. And when he goes to all the heels that are in the ring, this is what he does. Gets in, first person he sees, he just goes, literally taps them on the shoulder. They turn around, and then he just throws powder in his face. He goes to the next guy, turns him around, powder in the face. To the next guy, turn around, powder in the face.
Yo, that was a time where Hogan could do no wrong.
Wild.
Oh, man. So you, big Hulk Hogan fan. I think that's kind of why we get along so much. We're not ashamed to be like, yeah, I started watching wrestling because Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was the man.
Yes.
Hulkamaniacs and stuff, and that actually played a role in your name change, so to speak, when you became Bear Boulder.
Yes, it did. So when me and Bronson, when Bear Country was really starting to pick up some momentum, it was kind of thinking like Beefcake, even though I had been that for like 3 years, it's kind of like, that name really doesn't really fit what we're going for. And I actually I came up with Boulder as kind of two ways. One, I didn't come up with the name. The name was actually suggested to me by Bull James. And it's also kind of it's a nod to Hulk Hogan when he used to go by Terry Boulder. So that's pretty much the origin story of how I got that name.
That's wild. I never knew that.
Mm-hmm.
I also made the
Tasty.
mistake of still calling you by your old name.
That's fine. Everybody does. Literally everybody does. And I'm totally cool with it.
You have catchy ass names. Like Bear Boulder and Beefcake? Come on. Those are both like
I mean, I still call you guys by your shoot names. Do you get that often where guys refer to you as Jose or Hose B?
No, on this show, everybody calls us by our regular names. We were just having that discussion before. I was like, yo, the jig is up. Everybody knows we're EJ and Javi. Like, fuck it.
We are?
We've been exposed.
What about on like a show, like a show where like you're not like as friendly with everyone in the locker room as you are with like me and CPA and guys like that? Like, did they just call you Jose and Jose B, or did they call you like Javi and EJ?
Yeah, because we're two guys that like when we introduce ourselves, it's not like, hey, I'm Jose B, nice to meet you. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I'm Javi, this is EJ. How are you? Okay, cool. And that's when they're like, oh, okay. Then they ask us what our gimmicks are.
Yeah, it's usually not until like we're in gear. They're like, oh, you're Jose and Jose B, and then they're calling.
You guys are Team Espana. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah,
It was like Carl Gotch back in the day. His real name wasn't Carl Gotch, but he'd go into a locker room, shake someone's hand, and just go, Gotch.
Yep.
That was – that's all you got to do.
Do that. I'm like, hey, I'm B.
What's good? I'm A.
Nice to meet you.
Both you guys, back to back. EJ first, A, and then you, B.
No, that would require me to have EJ introduce himself.
Oh, yeah. Nah, I go second.
EJ's like, no, go ahead, bro. You talk. I got you. I'm right behind you.
Javi's the mouthpiece.
Which is weird because like whenever it's like anyone hits us up on like our socials or like DMs and everything, they usually come to me. Like they'll hit me up, but it's like he's the one who's like, he's definitely the more responsible of the two.
Probably because they saw him with his shaved face, so they'd rather talk to you.
That's true. I wouldn't want to talk to Pancake Face either.
Is that what this look is now? Pancake face?
Yeah, fam.
I was the mutton chops of love. Now I'm pancake face. I had mutton chops, man. To go back to the previous episode, I did my best to grow out the Harley Race mutton chops.
Your next AKA should be pour some syrup on me. Your pancake ass face.
Right. It's not about making fun of Hoseby.
Sorry.
Bear Boulder.
Yes.
So you're actually one of the guys that, for us, was a big influence in terms of hit the road, go get booked, go get paid, and go bump. You know what I mean? Go wrestle, go out there, leave your comfort zone. You know,
Yes.
you and a small handful of other guys that we know were really those guys to be like, go out there, go. Like, this is, you want to be a professional wrestler. This is what professional wrestlers do. You know, like back in the day, some guy, whether you did him a favor, whether you bought him drugs, or whether you paid him $3,000, taught you how to squat 500 times, taught you how to bump and lock up. The rest you learned on your own.
Exactly. AKA Vern Gagne.
Vern taught you how to roll, I think. But for me, I have to ask, what was the big? I should say, what was one of the things that was a challenge for you from going from Beefcake Charlie, the singles guy, wrestling wherever he can, you know, making sure you get your money's worth because you know your value, you know your worth, which more independent wrestlers need to do. And but what was the big transition? What was the difficulty, the hardship? Was there any difficulty or hardship in going from Beefcake Charlie, the single superstar, to Hot Stuff, to Bear Boulder, to Bear Country, to being really a tag team specialist? You know what I mean?
Well, even before Beefcake Charlie, it was kind of just like you said, hitting the road and doing all the things like that. Because eventually, I mean, at least for me and other guys I know, you get to a point where you're at your home place and you're just like, you know what? This is fun and all, but I kind of want to wrestle more than just once a month. So, and like, I was just really hungry at the time to wrestle anywhere and everywhere I could. It actually took a little while for me and Bronson to start get going. I mean, like, I was busy as a singles wrestler as Beefcake Charlie, but I was busy. I was getting booked consistently, but nowhere huge or anywhere with like big buzz or anything like that. And I was happy at the time, but I also was like, you know what? I feel like I could be doing better, because a big thing that me and Bronson both feel this way, that we tell other independent wrestlers, is there's usually something you look at, you give it like a 6-month rule or a 9-month rule or something like that. Whatever you're doing 6 months from now, look at everything you did. And if you're still in the same spot you're in, you got to change something up. And that's kind of how I was. I was doing Beefcake Charlie. I was getting booked consistently. But after a while of kind of staying the course like that, it was just like, you know what? I'm still just in the same spot I was like almost a year ago. And that's when I was like, you know what? Maybe I really love tag team wrestling. Bronson is another big dude, I think, and he's really good. I think we could make a good tag team. And I told him about it, and he was on board. And then a few months later, we got the matching gear, and we were hitting the road together. And the first big place that really gave us a chance was Chaotic Wrestling in Massachusetts. A place I still consider kind of like a home promotion. Love it there. Love the matches we've had there. They were like the first bigger company to really give us a platform, and I'll always be grateful to them for that.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some of the matches you've had with Mainstay Posse, you know, and that's another tag team that's a legitimate tag team. You know what I mean? Like, and you know this, it's hard going from place to place as a tag team, and you get booked against other tag teams, and then you know when the bell rings, or even when you're calling the match, you know that, hey, these guys are a tag team, or like, hey, these guys are like two singles guys they put together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
definitely one of the worst like feelings. It's like starting to talk over your match or whatever, and then you clearly know, like, oh man, these guys don't know how to do tag team stuff.
Yeah, and no disrespect to those guys, because everyone has this, you know, the same desire to be a wrestler. But when you're and I say a legitimate tag team, you have a certain mindset and you think a certain way when putting together pieces for a match versus a singles guy. And you can tell very quickly when it's like, oh, okay, this is gonna be like pulling teeth, or this is gonna go great and smooth, and be a day off.
Exactly. You'll see that a lot from guys that are just randomly paired together. The match will just end up looking like two separate singles matches than two guys actually being a unit and working like an actual tag team. You see that happen a lot.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I remember at a certain taco fest, you and Bear Bronson getting randomly put together, and it wasn't a traditional tag team. It was like a 6-man or 8-man, something like that. And you wrestled us, and I believe Jacques Hole. We were talking about that a couple weeks ago.
I completely forgot. Yeah.
To my knowledge, that was really the first time you and Bear Bronson tagged together.
It was. It was the first time we actually tagged together in a match.
Were you guys talking about it beforehand?
Yes, we were. We actually teamed up twice that day. Earlier in the day, we teamed up to wrestle the Graysons, and then later it was us against you and Jacques Hole, and I forget who our third man was.
Grammar Cop.
I believe. Yeah. I don't know why Grammar Cop comes up, but he might have been.
It was. No, it was. It was Grammar Cop. Now Phil Cardigan. But
shout out to Phil Cardigan. I love
his birthday today.
Happy birthday!
Oh, happy birthday!
If you're watching this, find him on Twitter or Facebook and wish him a happy birthday. It's a decent thing to do.
I'll look in the phone book.
Send smoke signals.
Message in a bottle.
Well, the only reason.
Send a raven.
I think Scott Levy's busy. But the only reason I mentioned that is because we were just talking about like two guys being put randomly together. And for us, like we know you, we know Bronson. So we're all friends and stuff. But I was telling Jose this at that time after the match. They have really good chemistry as a team. They should team. Wow. And just keeping my opinions to myself because my opinions are my opinions. Whatever. I do not speak for Jose and Team Espana.
He's lying. He lied like a rug.
No, man. I remember saying it to you. I was like, yo, they could be a really good tag team.
Like a rug.
Nah, bro. I was there.
Nah. In all seriousness, all jokes aside, he definitely did, and you guys have like taken your tag team to like quite levels. It's pretty cool. It's cool to see your progression as a tag team from like Taco Fest to the match we're gonna get to, which is you against LAX. Because not for nothing, I mean, we haven't seen it yet, but we're sure you guys tore the house down.
It was a great match. We had a lot of fun, and the reason I kind of picked that match is because I know you guys have worked them a few times also. So kind of a little camaraderie here that we can feel from this match with all of us have working with LAX.
Shout outs to them. Hopefully one day they'll be on the show. But yeah, no, that you're right. We've worked you guys. We've worked them. Although, to be fair, while we have worked LAX, we have yet to really, in a traditional tag team match, wrestle Bear Country.
Yeah.
No, you haven't yet.
You know what I mean? So anybody watching this with a square of circle brother wants to
or a pencil,
wants to book the match, pay some fees. You know what I'm saying? No, just to see like, wow, when we wrestled them 3-4 years, whatever it was, years ago, to where you guys are now, it's leaps and bounds. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I've called this to you guys' face. I don't care if it gets hate online. You guys are like Legion of Doom. You guys are the Road Warriors. You know what I mean? You're coming in, you tear shit up.
That's always LOD Road Warriors. That's always the aura that I've wanted to present. Two guys that literally just walk in the ring, bell rings, jump them, bang, 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 bang. Just it's professional wrestling.
Well, Money, you're doing a great job. You're doing it. You're definitely doing it. And with that being said, let's get to the match.
Blessings.
Yo, we're back, folks. We have Bear Boulder, we have Jose, and of course, Jose B. We're about to tune up this match here. Jose, you wanna do a little introduction of this pro wrestling tag team magic we're about to see?
So what we got right here on deck, on decky, as they say on the block, is you got your boys LAX, Ortiz, and Santana going against the one and only Bear Country, Bear Boulder, and Bear Bronson. Anything you want to add to this match before we play it, Beef?
This is from American Rana 2019 from the Foxwoods Casino in Connecticut. It's Beyond Wrestling's biggest show every year. It's like their WrestleMania show. And it's one of my favorite matches that we've had as a team.
All right, so let's get to it.
Plizze.
All right, action already starting here. And this is, they're in AEW now, Proud and Powerful.
I don't think they're called that anymore. I think they're just Santana and Ortiz now.
I like Proud and Powerful. It made me feel strong as a Latino. Also, I miss Afro Ortiz. I know he's been kind of doing it lately, but there was a stretch where he was just all great. But anyway, two great tag teams here. You could tell it's a hot crowd.
It was a hot crowd.
So going into this match, Beef, nervous, excited. What's the emotions you're feeling here?
A lot of both. We were there the night before to check into the hotel because this was in like a casino hotel kind of place. And the event is being held in the ballroom of the hotel. It holds like, I want to say there was like 1,200 people there. Really fun event, really fun atmosphere. Never wrestled in a venue like this before. I remember when we walked in there, we looked up, like the ring was being set up. We just looked up and we were like, wow, this is really cool. It's like
it looks like a nice spot from here, not for nothing.
There's people standing on the sides of the ring, and then like hard cam side, and then opposite that side, there were chairs. So like those two sides was standing room only.
Sheesh.
Charisma out that ass. Here you have great tag team wrestling we're about to see, man. I'm excited. I'll be honest with you. I've seen this match one time. And just haven't seen it since. And I just remember watching it and going like, these motherfuckers tore the house down.
And it was, dude, calling this match with them was so easy. We called this match in like 10, 15 minutes and just like went over it just a couple of times. It was great.
That's the great thing about them is like you kind of have this nervousness, and you know when you watch them, you're like, man, they do some great shit. Like,
yeah, I remember you guys told me it was pretty easy calling stuff with them,
and that's the thing that was surprising to me. Was like we called the match in like less than 10 minutes.
Yeah,
and, you know, we would go over it a couple of times throughout the night, but that was really it. And then there was some stuff in the ring that we called, and to me, that was kind of our like going like, you know what, we can. It's a confidence booster. You know what I mean? When you're going in there in the ring with guys that you know can go, and so when you're kind of like on that level with them, and they're helping you along. Don't get me wrong, but
yes,
it's a vindication of like, oh shit, like I can go, man. That's some confidence that you need as an athlete.
And not for nothing, they're really good if there's anything that goes wrong, they know how to fix it on the spot, or they can get you in the position you need it to be at. Because we faced them a couple times, and the first time we just felt a little like there was one or two times you could tell like, or at least personally we can feel like them put us in position. You know, it's like, oh, you got to be over here. Like, oh, thank you.
They're great guys. I love them. They're such great dudes.
Definitely.
And at the same time, they're not worried about pussyfooting around and will beat the shit out of you.
To go further on what you asked, I could definitely tell you I was a little more nervous than excited going into this match because this was the end of July, and we had only debuted at Beyond less than 3 months earlier, and we just went on this run when we were there, and we got really over with the crowd to the point where people were actually hitting up Beyond, asking them, hey, is Bear Country going to be on American Rana? And eventually it was like, hey, yeah, you guys are booked. You guys are on. And we were like, wow, this is really cool.
My man, that's called getting over. You know what I mean? You got over in a short amount of time.
Yes.
And it just goes like, And this is like I'm sure like you guys have a blueprint of where you want to go in the match. But you could tell right here, this is just charisma. This is just, hey, like, let's just keep it natural in the ring, you know? And I love
Yes.
stuff like that when it's, yeah, we're going to, you know, goof around right now and still entertain a ballroom full of people.
The back rake. Dude, Ortiz is wild.
Yeah, nah, he's hilarious.
Yo, Santana has like the loudest chops ever.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
No. Hold the phone. So what I was saying before, they're not afraid to put around and beat the shit out of you, is like as a wrestler when you kind of like mess up a spot or something like that or botch, whatever. You know, some guys will give you like a stiff one to be like, hey man, like pay the fuck attention.
Yes.
Let's get back on track. I'm guilty of it. You know, I'm pretty sure we're all guilty of it. So we were in the ring with them, and somebody who will remain nameless, Jose, messed up a spot. Okay? But the problem is the spot he messed up, right? Like literally the next thing, I get tagged in and get brought in. So he messed up the spot. I get tagged in and they beat the shit out of me in the corner. I remember Santana chopping me so hard. I looked at him like I didn't mess it up. It was my partner.
For starters, since you want to talk all that basura, don't act like I didn't get the kick of a lifetime in my spine, all right? I felt the kick, and I still feel it when it rains sometimes, so I don't want to hear you complaining.
I'd much rather take that kick than that chop. That man chopped the soul out of me.
Well, dude, no, the thing is, dude, his chops are loud as hell, but they're not bad. Like guys like that, guys like Moff, I'll get chopped by them all the time.
Nice. Way to bring man.
Dude, like Moff, dude, like you watch Moff wrestle and you watch him chop someone, you're like, I would never want to take that, but I love taking Moff's chops.
Yeah, he knows where. And to Santana's credit, like that was the like, hey, I'm punishing you for messing up. But there were certain ones afterward that I was like, okay, those aren't as bad. So it was like you know, he knows what to do and like how to give it to you and so that you feel it, but it's not gonna like stop your heart or anything.
Because, dude, trust me, I've taken chops from guys that their chops suck. Like they didn't make any noise and they actually really hurt. That's when I got to give them a quick little flipper right to the mouth, being like, don't do that again.
Oh, my least favorite thing is the person. There's always at least one that throws a chop in a battle royal. Like, why? Why? Don't slap me because your punches are weak. Like, get out of here.
Oh, no, I'm guilty of that. I can't lie. I have too much fun in battle royals.
Oh man,
too much fun. I love battle royals. Now, Javi, if you look what they're doing to Bronson now, would you ever guess that this kind of match would have a leg heat to it?
Would I guess? No.
You wouldn't think of it, honestly.
Yeah. But am I surprised to see it? No, because like it makes sense and it's not for nothing at the same time. Like they know, like all four people in this ring know what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Also, I'm sure you guys had like a time where you are allowed to like tell like whatever story you would like so you can slow down the crowd and have a heat like this.
Even though this match is pretty much baby, they still wanted to have some kind of, not like a heat per se, but a point where they're on top, but it's not necessarily like a heat. And it really does make sense. He's doing the Brett spot.
Yeah, because I think I could have the timeline mixed up, but this is like that weird transition where they were leaving one company. They
had already left Impact at this point.
And they haven't, and people were like, are they going to go to the E? Are they going to go to AEW? I mean, if you would ask me, I would have put all my money on them going to the WWE because.
Well, that's what I thought they were going. I thought they were going to NXT, but then they showed up on AEW.
Yeah. So
who knows? You never know.
You never know. You never know, and more power to them. They got contracts to wrestle, and I think that's everybody's dream.
What made this special to us is that we thought it ended up not being, but we thought that this was going to be their last match on the Indies. But they only ended up wrestling like 1 or 2 matches after this, and then they went to AEW. So, still cool.
I think, I remember you saying that, and really up until this match, like it was like for a little bit after that, it was their last match on the Indies. And I
want to say the only other, I think they might have only done one other match after this before they went to AEW, and I think it was for Battle Club. If my memory serves correct.
I remember that was they did the big entrance with all the Latino flags. And
yes.
I think Battle Club might have been their last match. But didn't they might have done House of Glory, I think, too.
Yeah, I think they did House of Glory because that's their home spot. So they did I think they did House of Glory. They definitely did Battle Club before they went.
Well, I remember the Battle Club thing.
Those are 2 promotions in New York, in the Bronx, you know what I mean? Like, so it's in their backyard, like it's a home promotion booking. You know what I mean? This is like
you could say that was their last 2 instead of before they went up to Vince to New York, before they went down south to Tony to Jacksonville.
How great is that you can make those references? You know what I mean? Like, oh brother, you're getting signed by New York? Nah, man, I'm going to Jacksonville.
Yo, look at that. An old figure 4 reversal spot.
And then behind the ref's back, you know what I mean?
And earlier when the ref kicked off the hands because they were cheating and everything, like, so good.
I love Bryce. He's such a good ref.
Well,
another AEW, Bryce Remsburg.
Yeah, man. Talent deserves recognition. I enjoy the shit out of a good referee. Like someone who knows where to be, who knows when to be there and when not to be there. You know what I mean? And like honestly, it's stuff you don't notice until you notice it. That makes sense.
Oh, I'm also going to add right here, in like literally like 99% of our matches, if we're the baby faces, Bronson is always taking some kind of heat. Not because I don't want to, but because Bronson is very, very good at selling. As you can see right here, he's doing a great job.
That's what they always tell the guy who sells.
I tell that to Jose all the time,
Javi
baby.
says it all the time. Now you take better heat than me. You got that little guy thing going for you. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, ooh, that was devastating.
Monster driver.
But I agree. He has been selling pretty great.
And honestly, the thing I love about this match, and people might hear this and think a certain way, but I love its simplicity. I love the fact that it's easy to digest. It's easy to follow along. And like the cool shit that indie wrestling is kind of famous for. Yeah, it's been there and it's coming still. But like just the simplicity in it is beautiful to me. And I always enjoy simple shit, if that makes sense.
Well, one of the best lessons I ever got from like being on the road and stuff was you don't have to play your greatest hits every single match. Even though I would say this is a match where you absolutely should do that. But we still didn't even do anything like that insane or crazy. Like I thought we had a really good match and it got over really well with the crowd.
You know, like you see people cheering and you just gave the guy a back body drop. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
It's my favorite move in wrestling. Nobody does it
brother.
anymore.
Same. I try to include it in all the comebacks. You know what I'm saying? And then this is you talking about greatest hits earlier, but this is always something that I'm always impressed by. Is just you always manage somehow to just carry 2, 3, 4, 5 guys on you.
It's literally like the only thing I do. I try to get
Bronson dive. Whew.
Bronson's got a great suicide dive.
Oh yeah, but they're really great. He does the sui. It's awesome.
But it's fine, man. Bronson does the suicide dive, and then I do this coming up. This is my thing. Show you how it's done, Javi.
Oh, that's beautiful. Straight on. It's not the crooked moonsault that certain those bees know.
Yo, you do it mad crooked, but you still land it like perfectly. It's so weird. You land it as if you're going completely straight.
He lands it the way Team Espana wrestles. Ghetto gracefully, all right? That's how we
Ghetto graceful. That's right, baby. Ghetto graceful. Well, I always compare your moonsault to Vader and mine to Bam Bam Bigelow.
Oh, that's spot on. It's kind of like when you're playing WCW NWO World Tour and you're using Rey Mysterio and he does that weird like sideways moonsault, but he lands it perfectly straight.
Now you know where I got it from, bro. Now you know where I got it from.
It's an homage.
Ray 95, you know what I'm saying? Oh, man.
95. You're talking about ECW, Ray.
Oof.
I give both of y'all credit because my big ass can't do any of that.
Here we go.
Boom! That finish is very.
Nope.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes.
Yo, I remember
you got me.
Calling that spot, Ortiz was like, after you hit it, kind of stand in the way, like you're going to prevent me from breaking it up, but I'm going to like hit you with a juke move. Like literally, like we were playing football, like he has, and I'm trying to tackle. He literally just like did a quick highlight stick, like whoop. It's cool when you think about it.
Yeah, nah.
He's literally like, yeah, I'm gonna just juke you.
And that makes more sense because everybody tries to do that. Like, I'll tackle you into all of them spots.
Yes.
Oh God, I hate that spot.
When you tackle someone into a pin to break it up,
it's so overdone. You know what I mean? Everybody, like I remember there was one summer where it was literally in every tag match I saw.
Well, we kind of did that spot too. Only I would take the guy and launch him into the pin to break it up.
Just
boom.
Ooh.
Oh God. This was fun. Ooh. Which one of you guys took that?
Turning up the intensity.
Did one of you guys take that? The double underhook little like backflip pancake or whatever that was?
No.
Oh well.
When we worked when we
that was
in Union.
It was supposed to be a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, and that was the thing that got messed up that we were talking about earlier.
We worked them in unions that has that low ceiling, so I think they were just.
All right, Javi, this is on you right now. What I'm about to do to Santana here, you have to tell me where it's from, okay?
Catch. Power bomb.
You have to tell me where this is from.
Oh my God! Into the DVD. Catch into the power bomb. Multiple power.
No,
bombs.
just power bomb DVD.
Oh, that's No Mercy.
Yes. I've been wanting to do that for so long, and I'm like, I'm just gonna bust it out here. 3.
And I love that Ortiz still tries to break it up.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like anytime.
I thought it got botched, but it didn't.
No, look great on camera. And it's funny when you're wrestling, and fans don't understand that when you're in the ring and you're in the moment and you're in the match, you feel, oh man, that got messed up. And you're dejected or disappointed. And then whenever you see the footage, you're just like, oh my goodness, that came out great. That came out better than expected. You know what I mean? So I love those moments. Well, I'm always worried about watching my stuff back. How often do you watch Bear Country beefcake matches? You know what I mean? Study yourself.
I watch all of our matches back, even though I'm not the biggest fan of it. I just know that if you're like me and you're not a big fan of watching your stuff back, you kind of have to, just to see what you do and if you make any mistakes, whatever you can correct.
Yeah, it's that definitely I don't want to say self-deprecation, because just, I don't know. I just know I'm going to watch a Team Espana match and just go, this is shit. This is terrible.
You always judge yourself a little harsher than you usually would. I hated it. I still do. I hate watching some of our matches back.
It's important though, man. Tape review, tape study is important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. Because that's something that I actually give Javi credit for. He's the one who's like, yo, we got to watch this back. If you think of it like any other sport, they always watch their plays back and what went wrong and how you can improve and do it better. It's no different.
Yeah.
Also, my favorite thing is 2:00 in the morning, getting an EJ Vox Like, oh, you fucking stupid! Like just yelling, just being mad. And then literally, it's like it'll be stages, right? The I want to kill you, the I want to kill myself, I want to kill those motherfuckers in the match. It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
And then the final stage, it was actually pretty good. Like minus A, B, C, D, it was pretty good.
I go through it. The
stages of criticism.
Hey man, it's like I tell everybody: as long as the crowd liked it, you had fun, and nobody gets hurt, what do you have to complain about?
That's true, man. That's true.
And there's always
those three things. That's it.
And it's funny. I remember hearing from Paul Roma, like after a match we had, I just kind of went up to him, was like, he's Paul Roma. You know what I mean? He's been around the block. He's been to the big stages and just
He was a horseman.
Symbol of excellence, my brother. I'm not gonna lie to you. Between 1993 and 1999, I wanted to be a horseman my damn self.
Who didn't?
But I remember going up to him and just be like, "Hey, any critiques? Any, advice, judgments?" He goes, "No, I saw it. The crowd loved it. Entertaining. And anybody hurt?" I was like, "No. You know when it's good. You don't have to come to me and ask permission." And I was just like, because he's right. Like, if you've done it for a number of years, when you get back through the curtain, you can kind of say to yourself, "That was a good match. Could have been better. I'm glad I'm alive because somebody could have died." You know what I mean? Like, I know we're just talking about tape study and that's what you have to do. But you also know when you get back to the curtain, like, okay, I know what column to check for that particular match.
Dude, I tell people all the time, it's kind of really weird to think about, but it's the least important part of wrestling is the actual wrestling. As long as the crowd likes it, you did your job. And in this day and age, you got to get them to boo the bad guys and cheer the good guys. Well,
you know what I mean?
These days, just have a good time.
Exactly.
Well,
you guys figured it out.
That's all it is, It's a spectator sport.
Only after listening to you, fam. Like, in all seriousness, like, you gave us good advice, like, to get out there and to, like, see the world of, like, the other promotions and wrestling and everything. And that's something that, like, we really wanted to thank you for. Like, it gives us an appreciation for wrestling and shows us, like,
well, of course, guys. You guys are my boys. We all came up together. Like,
I remember.
I eat. You got to eat. It's.
And that's why you're familiar, bro.
Blessings.
I remember. Quick personal story, and if we have to cut this, then we'll cut this. But
oh boy.
I had just joined the wrestling school, open that we all came up in. I went to an open house at the end of December. I joined in January. I want to say the tail end of January, maybe early February. It was still like cold winter. You were one of the first kind of elder statesmen that, to me, you were, because I was brand new and you.
Hey, at that point, I was there less than a year.
Yeah, exactly. So, but to me, you were I looked at you as like, oh wow, this guy has been here and he knows what he's doing. And I got all your references, all your wrestling 90s references. We used to joke about The Simpsons and like, just stupid stuff. And you were actually one of the first people in the school to be like, hey, let me give you a ride to the train station. And like, because you knew like, I kind of took the train to get there. I didn't have a car. And this was before I joined the New York crew with Delroy and EJ and CPA.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we was already fancy living by then?
You guys were, the New York crew was a thing.
Mm.
I hadn't discovered it yet. I was like maybe 2-3 weeks in. I was in that stage where like everybody says the same thing. This has all been my dream and I'm never going to give up. I was like, oh, okay, give it like 3 months and you probably won't be around. But you were one of the first. I remember it was you, me, and I want to say maybe Jaguar. We went to the supermarket. We all got chocolate milk, and then you drove me to the train station.
It was Jaguar because I used to give him a ride home like after every practice because I was living in Westfield at the time, and he lived in Rahway, which is literally like 10 minutes away. So I always gave him a lift.
And it was cool just because like I always felt like, wow, he didn't have to do that, and like to me it formed a friendship that I hope lasts forever. So you'll always be family to me, man. I love you.
You know that, man. You know that.
And all the success that comes your way, you deserve.
And just know, Team Espana got a spot on your couch, boy. Stop saying.
Yeah,
Anytime.
get ready for the Team Espana Show, episode 3000 from Beefcake's couch.
Live from the sofa.
from the palatial residence of one Thomas Beefcake Boulder.
Oh, you'll like this sofa. You'll like this sofa. It pulls out into a bed.
Ah!
See, head to toe. We good. We
That's
good.
it, baby. That's it.
It's all you need.
Oh, man. What was it? I remember one time, EJ, remember when we slept head to toe one time in some hotel, and I think I like my nose hit your leg, so you punched me in the back.
Oh, this was WrestleMania weekend. WrestleMania weekend, we shared our hotel in Florida with Delroy. This was a couple years back, like 2017.
Yes.
Yes.
And as we were sleeping, I remember I felt something like punch me or no, kick me in the sleep. And it's me and Javi sleeping head to toe. I wake up and I'm like, yo, who the fuck just kicked me? I turned and all I saw was Javi. So I punched him in the leg and I just went right back to sleep.
And I woke up in pain. I was like, oh my God. Like, I thought we were getting attacked. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? He goes, you kicked me. And I didn't even like, most people would be like, nah, I didn't kick you. I don't know what you're talking about. I just looked at him and said, I slap kicked you. Sometimes I move in my sleep. I probably just kicked you by accident.
Yo, and I forgot that WrestleMania weekend in Florida, you guys drove down there.
From New Jersey, it was, 14 hours maybe?
No, it was 19 hours.
19 hours. Oh, man. And I remember TJ Crawford slept the whole way through because he's a terrible road brother. All he does is sleep and make messes in your car. No, I'm just kidding. But he was asleep the whole time.
I can't speak ill of TJ. He's given me way too many rights to speak ill of.
I mean, he's giving us rides too, but I'm still going to speak ill of him because that's the fun thing to do.
Yeah, TJ, I've told him he can, no matter how famous or how far he gets in life, he will always be shithead TJ to me.
That's right.
I love him though. I love TJ. He's just a shithead sometimes. That's all.
You ever see the movie, the movie Space Jam, where at the end of the game, like the boss is making fun of the Monstars, and Michael Jordan is just like, yo, why do you take gruff from that guy? And they go, well, he's bigger. And then they all realize, like, wait a minute, like we're bigger than him. And they beat him up. I'm waiting for that to happen with TJ, where we just make fun of him all the time. And somebody goes, yo, why do you let those guys make fun of you? Because they're, why do you motherfuckers make fun of me all the time?
I just can't believe you started that whole story off with the phrase, you guys ever hear of that movie Space Jam?
I don't know. It was a cult classic, you know? It was a sleeper hit of the 90s. Oh, man. But anyway, Beef, we could literally talk till the cows come home and the sun comes up. But where can our audience, all 51 subscribers, and 3.9 thousand views. No,
we out here, fam.
Where can our fans, where can our watchers and listeners and viewers find Bear Boulder on the social app?
You guys can check me out at #WrestleBeef at both Instagram and Twitter. That's where you can find me.
My man, Wrestle Beef. Your family, we love you. Thank you for being on the show. Jose, any final words?
Shout outs to my homies, the Brawlhalla Boys, the Room Raiders, Starks, Dimitri. You know what it is. I see y'all in Brawlhalla Land.
All right. And hello to the Kaminkowitz Hoots in South End Boys. Love ya.
Besame mucho.
So, as we wrap things up here, guys, stay safe. Protest peacefully. This has been a A&B conversation, and we'll see you next week. Ooh. See you, fam. Deuces. Bye.